Okay, this is Brother Basua, and this video I'm going to talk about one important thing about about one important thing that we should about this church family thing and the church family life and our life. Okay, one important thing about God. Okay, about Christ. Okay, one important thing about Christ. Okay, so and that is specificity. God is very specific. Remember, this year I've talked a lot about who God, I've discussed with us about who God is. And I've told us that anytime you get to know that, you get to know who you are. And one of the things that maybe this is, I may have not said this, but I'm saying it over here, that God is very specific. Okay, there's a specificity with God. Okay, that when he says do it like this, that's what he means. Okay, and family is important. It's important that we really do that, because we see that in the Old Testament, that when he wanted people to do it in a certain way and they would do it in that way, and many times he will reject it. And so God is very specific about the way that we should do things. You will say, oh, you can do it anyway. No. God is specificity is very important to him. Okay, and I wanted to, with this video, I want to do something new with this one, that I want to post a video about a brother who spoke about the church identity. Okay, with this video, because why is that? Because God is specific about what kind of church that you should go. Okay, not everything. Two things cannot be the same. Two things cannot be the same. God is very specific about what kind of church and the way that he wants us to do things. So I would want to bring that, say so, and so as detail. Okay, see, detail is important to God. Organization is important to God. Orderly way of doing things, they are all important. And so I will kind of post that, brothers. And one of the things I will do this in early next year, Lord willing. If whatever project that I do, whether I do regular lessons for other things, I will still do that if the Lord gives me the ability. Because you see, and I think that's the one that the brother will say. I have not listened to all that, but I know he's going to say the same thing about how, see, one of the things that you see in the Lord's church is organization. One of the things that you have to look for is how the church is organized. Okay. This is something that we tell people. I mean, we help people to see if they are looking for a church family, if they are looking for a place where the church that is in the Bible. Okay, and one of them is organization. One of them is the name. Okay, you want to know the name. Okay, the name helps. The name will tell the ownership. Okay, And so it's important. And another, some of them include organization, how they are organized, including the headquarters. All that, they are very important. And Lord willing, I think those are things that we will have to kind of say, that we will have to say. And another thing I want to mention in this video, because I'm going to post the brother's thing, and I know he's going to speak about all this. One of the things I want to speak in this video is autonomy of the Church of Christ. Okay, because you see, through the church, all things are learning. Okay, the reason why we are going, because through the church, the manifold wisdom of God is known to everybody. So that is why we need to be wise. If other things can learn God's wisdom from our everyday relationship with Him, don't you think it will be wise for us to know Him more and really cling to Him, really fall in love over and over with Him? Don't you think so? And so it makes a lot of sense to do that, because and one of the things that we need to see from the Lord's church is the autonomy. See, we don't need somebody to come and talk about all this separation of things and all that before we know, because it is the quality. It is the character of the Church of Christ, that is on autonomy. That means every church, every congregation is by itself. Okay, no congregation is ruled by an external body or external person. Okay, you cannot, whichever congregation that you are is where you are supposed to be. You don't have any influence. If you are a leader over this congregation, you cannot be a leader over here. Okay, even though it may sound basic, but you can make a big application out of this, because you can make it up to individual level. And when we understand that, because that is how we make application. The way I'm sharing another love here today. Okay, I'm sharing another secret. See who your mother is, or your parents are. That I'm talking about your parents. Who your parents are usually how you look like. Okay, or that should be your goal. Every child's goal should be like, I want to be like my parents. Even though it may not look like that, I was thinking about that. And if you are not fortunate, and you didn't grow up with your own parents, that is not any. That doesn't mean you don't have anybody to look up to and become. See, there are so many examples in the Bible. Moses, he was a great leader, but he was not raised up by his own parents. And so you can see people like that. But every child's goal is that they will become like their parents. And that idea has to be also seen when in a spiritual family, that you want to be that one day you will become like the church as a person. That is that's where you grow your full. That's why how the church look like, it will determine will determine the mind of the people. So because everybody, when they grow, they will become like the church. Okay, and so if you present the church to the youth or the young people, like how you present to them is how they are going to grow up to look like. And that's part of the autonomy application that I'm trying to share here. And so, and you should not get any influence from other places. It may be you can go to some places. The autonomy does not mean we don't help one another, but the actual tree, how the person will be like the mother church. So if the mother church is trying to present God, is trying to put God in a box, that's how the person is going to be. And so I want you to see that the autonomy, that means you don't have influence on another church. That means you don't have influence on your brother or sister. I'm talking about you don't, it's not that you don't have influence, because that's another thing that this whole thing can get into. Because somebody can look at you and you have a good influence. But you don't rule over them. That's what I mean. That's the autonomy. You don't have somebody who rule, and that is still coming from the fact that the one who ruled the church is Christ, and we in the Lord, we know where he lives, and so nobody on this earth can rule over another person. Okay, nobody on this earth can rule over, and apart from they rule over the church in our local level. Okay, and that's another thing, that how it's set up thing. But you don't rule if somebody is in another church and you are elder, which is also known as bishop somewhere. You are not a shepherd over them at their place, even though you may have a similar job, because each church is by itself. Okay, and so that's why if you are in the Lord's church, so many of these things just answers by itself. If you are doing things right, all of us will benefit. Okay, so Lord willing, next year, if everything goes well, I'll be able to bring some of this, because some people, it's going to help them, and it's going to help a lot of people to know this. Okay, God bless you. This is Brother Baswa, and you'll see me in another video, Lord willing.